Grocery shopping, I'm a chef and I can make things. I'm like, ooh, yes, buy this and we'll mix it and we'll throw this together. Then I get home and I'm like, I don't even want to do that. Like, I don't have energy to do that. As a family of 5, groceries is a major bill for us every month. It is a significant expense every month. When it comes to doing saving, when it comes to cutting down my expenses, groceries is that one area where I know, yeah, we can cover. Let me share with you the tried and true ways that I save money in the grocery department. Make sure we're being very efficient with the money, and I'll make sure I save the M word for last. Okay? When it comes to saving money on groceries, where you shop is very important. It determines the baseline for your groceries. Some stores are super expensive and some stores are more affordable. Now, we're not here to discuss why stores are higher than the other or why the markup is higher in one store than the other. That's not what this video is about. This video is about your wallet and saving you money. So take a look at where you're shopping. Now, some of those discount stores may not have everything you need. So you may have to do this thing where you go to one store and buy some and then go to the other stores to buy the rest. But keep in mind, if you're only saving a few dollars, it may not be worth it because it's not worth the time and the headache going from one store to the other. We have several different discount stores depending on where you live. We have so many now in 2024. So take a look at where you're shopping to begin with. I buy generic for a lot of things. Not everything, because in some cases the generic just doesn't cut it. It's not the same as a name brand. But for a lot of things, the generic works just fine. I've understood that generic does not mean decrease in quality. As long as it tastes just as good as a name brand, I'm fine with that. It saves a lot of money, especially for those things we use on the daily, like the cereal and the snacks. For instance, Rice Krispie cereal. The generic tastes just as good as the name brand, and so that's what I do. But when it comes to their Cinnamon Toast Crunch cereal, no, the generic, I bought that and I could hardly even drink it. No. So I'm sticking to the name brand on that. Sometimes that's what you have to do. You try the generic one time, it doesn't work well, you never have to buy it again. But if it works there, you've just saved yourself money on something you're buying constantly every week. Speaking of when I shop, I do shop weekly. That may change in the future. For you, you may change that to every other week. But the reason why I shop weekly is I've realized it saves me more because I'm only buying what I need for the week. It also saves me money because we end up not wasting it most of the time. Because I'm only buying for this week, I'm buying a smaller quantity, and most of the time we finish that. If it's something that finishes during the week, if it lasts more than a week, then cool. Another way I save money is when it comes to produce and fruits. I buy what we eat, not what I expect us to eat. Let me rephrase that. Having kids, we want kids to eat vegetables. We want them to eat fruits, right? So it's very likely that when you're buying, you're thinking it's good for the kids to eat this fruits, it's good for the kids to eat all these vegetables. But the reality is my kids are not eating all those vegetables, right? I know what vegetable each kid probably eats only one. One likes spinach, one likes salad, and it is always changing. One likes lettuce, and it changes. We go through phases. I know eventually they will eat vegetables, so I'm sticking to just what I know they eat, and thereby I'm not spending on things we don't need to begin with. That saves me money, and we are not wasting, which is overspending. I could use that money to buy next week's produce and fruit. Think outside the box when it comes to your groceries, and I'll give you an example. We like steak. However, steak prices are just not, especially for 5. All 5 of us like steak, right? Steak for 5 people is a lot of money, and I'm not willing to spend that much money on steak. So what I did, I would buy the chuck roast beef, I think that's what it's called, and just cut that up like a steak and make it. Sear it in a pan, bake in the oven, done. Steak. Steak is beef. Chuck roast is beef. As long as it's seasoned well and cooked well, can't tell the difference. It saves money because the chuck roast is only, then it was $4 something, and now I think it's 6. But compared to the price of steak, I'm saving a lot of money. Now, what I can also do if I'm trying to really cut it tight, we can also go the pork route because, when we're tired of chicken and beef is expensive, pork route, I try to limit the pork, but it tastes so good in food, but that's a different story. Something else, when your recipe calls for ground beef, you can use ground turkey, that's cheaper, ground chicken, that's cheaper. Now, in this case, I know the flavor, the taste is different. When you want beef, you want beef. So you may just have to think of a cheaper way to do beef like I did. A lot of times we think the bigger the better because we've been kind of conditioned to think when you buy the bigger one, it's cheaper, the values and buying more. There's not so, in fact, not this. For a long time, that hasn't been true. Always look at the unit price. Those family size, they're not necessarily the cheapest. The mega size, they're not necessarily the cheapest. Some brands they are, some brands they're not. Always pay attention to the unit price. That bigger box may not necessarily be cheaper than the smaller box. Speaking of big boxes, I actually did not plan this. It's just flowing well. It's just flowing well today. Speaking of big boxes, I do buy a lot of the big box, and then I portion out for snacks. So if my daughter likes taking, say, Oreos for snack, rather than buying those fun snack size, I buy the big one. I have sandwich bags. I have the reusable sandwich bags, and I use that. But where I'm not following that rule is applesauce, because after there's been several spills and several leaks, I've just decided, you know what, I'm just going to buy the small one, and that's fine. But so, these rules are not set on stone. You do what works for you. Applesauce and Jello. I'm okay with doing the single packs. Most of the time when I cook, I try to figure out how that meal can serve more than one purpose, right? And we'll still talk about the M word down the road, but it saves me money because I'm maximizing the food items. So for instance, if I make that steak, after grilling it in the oven or after cooking it in the oven, it has juices that comes from there. I use that juice to season tomorrow's rice. That would be for lunch. So it's my way of maximizing the food that I buy. I also do that with, I guess I have to bring the M word. I have to bring, bring the M word. The one thing that makes the biggest dent in the grocery department is meal planning. Because when you meal plan, you already know what you need for the week. You could meal plan for a whole month, and as the month goes on, you can switch a meal or two, or you meal plan for just one week and repeat, repeat every week, or switch a thing or two as the months go on. But with meal planning, you know what you're going to have, and so you buy accordingly. You're not buying extras. You're not out there just thinking, oh yeah, that enchilada looks good. Maybe we should make enchiladas this week. And now here you go buying all the things. Having a meal plan gives you boundaries. You're only buying these things for the week. This is all we need. Meal planning is the first step. Makes big difference. To take it further, to really decrease your chances of spending unexpected money in ordering in or eating out, meal prepping is the second thing to do. I'm not a big fan of meal prepping, trust me. I can meal plan. I'm not a fan of meal prepping. I don't like all the time it takes. But if we're going to be serious about saving money, it's the sacrifice we have to make. Or you can make your meals things that don't require a lot of prepping, things that you can quickly put together when it's time for dinner, and then you don't have to do a lot of prepping over the weekend if you work out of home or if you're busy, you're short with your time. I'm a stay-at-home mom. I do have some more time than you that work out of home, so I can get away without meal prepping. Now remember, with meal planning, once you've done it for a couple weeks, you're good. You don't have to keep replanning. You can just keep reusing the same plan, or you use the same meal plan you have for one week and just repeat, or for a month and just repeat. A good practice that goes against budgeting, but this is why you should include some sort of miscellaneous in your budget, is when you see stuff on sale, but keyword, stuff you use on sale, then you buy up and save for whenever you need it. For instance, meat. Meat really throws off my grocery budget. It's the most expensive thing on the grocery budget. Especially, I'm African. My soups need to have meat. And we're not just talking one kind of meat, right? It's a plethora of meat, right? So meat is expensive. Whenever meat is on sale, and by meat, I'm talking beef, I'm talking chicken. Whenever it's on sale, I'm buying up. I'm buying as well. Let's not say I'm buying a lot. I mean, it's not like I have a lot of space right now. When I had a deep freezer, yeah, but I'm buying at least a couple, let's say a couple, to save money. The African store never has sale. They should explain that to me. All the other grocery stores have sale. African store never has sale. So my goat meat is never on sale. Ordering your groceries online is a huge way to save money because you're not seeing all that there is to be seen. You only focus on your list of groceries that you need. And I love it because it's not just saving me money, it's saving me time. Ordering your groceries online is how I do it. Then I head to the store and they put it in my trunk. I'm also not comfortable with them picking my produce, the lettuce and the oranges, because I don't feel like they fill it well. I feel like they just grab a bag. But listen, when I know I'm only going for produce, I'm not going into every single aisle, right? I'm just on that outer area for produce. And then if I'm going for meat, it's just around the store. It still saves me money. I prefer ordering my groceries online, but there is a wait time. There's usually a 4 or 5 hour wait between when you order online and when you can pick up. Sometimes I don't have that 4 or 5 hours to wait. I need to get the groceries now so I can cook, and so I'm going to the store. Going to the grocery store with kids, you will definitely spend more. Definitely. I don't know if it's because of the difference in height between my eye line and their eye line, but they seem to see things more than what I see. And when they see it now, they want it. And then it's the whole, no, but this is good. And sometimes they see things that I generally wouldn't buy, or you know how they've targeted kids with designing the package of things. It catches your eyes more than it would mine. It's just a bunny on a packet. I don't care. But they see it, oh, going to the store with kids will definitely cost you more. So prevent that as much as you can. Prevent that as much as you can. If you do need to go to the store, remember, a cry is a cry is a cry. The same cry that was cried yesterday will be cried again tomorrow. Preventing today's cry will not prevent tomorrow's cry. Hence, therefore, do not give in to the crying. Listen, I'm a wonderful mom. So if my kid is coming to the grocery store with me, I'm okay buying her a snack. But where I will not give in to the crying or the pity face or whatnot, we are not buying that $5 whatnot when there's a $2 whatnot I can buy. Capiche? So if you do have to go into the store, stay strong. Stay strong. Don't let them, you're the one holding the wallet. Whatever you buy for them now is not going to keep them from being mad at you for not buying something else the next day or heck later in the day. So you buying for them now is not going to give you any extra point. Once you leave the store, they've forgotten about that. You're no longer best mom ever. Don't let guilt force you into overspending on groceries. And finally, this I think we all know, do not go grocery shopping on an empty stomach. If you were ordering online, you won't have to worry about this. But we will, even though I like shopping online, I still end up going to the store one reason or the other at some point. Don't go on an empty stomach. I don't have the numbers for you for the science and the studies. It's just based on experience. Makes a lot of difference. When I'm hungry and I'm grocery shopping, I'm a chef and I can make things. I'm like, ooh, yes, buy this and we'll mix it and we'll throw this together. Then I get home and I'm like, I don't even want to do that. Like, I don't have energy to do that. So do not go to the grocery store hungry. It would actually be cheaper for you to grab a snack when you get in, spend that $3 on that bottle of juice, and then do your shopping, because that will save you from spending a lot more on the things you'll pick up simply because you're hungry. These will definitely help you save money on groceries. I know it because that is what I do, and it has saved me money. Except when I get into that phase where I'm like, I'm tired of adding and subtracting. Let's just eat. Thank God we can afford to eat, but not this year. Not the first half of this year. I'm just being realistic, because that phase always comes in when I've been good with keeping grocery down. Then I get into that phase of, I'm tired of this. Let's just buy. We'll focus on what we need, and it always goes crazy. But these will definitely help you out. And I know I have helped you out. So I need you to do me a favor and give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video.